You can't overhear somebody mention Ryan Reynolds and not smile. And that's just who the dude is. From the sarcastic jokes he makes in Deadpool to his charming roles in rom-coms like The Proposal, the guy has built his career around making people laugh. He's the guy that can deliver a punchline so perfectly that it instantly becomes a hit. And not to mention his off-screen personality is just as fun. But beneath this funny guy who's got the perfect life is a story of a person who's really different than the Hollywood heartthrob that we see on screen. Now, Ryan Reynolds is adored by millions of people around the world. His movies gross hundreds of millions of dollars worldwide, and he's married to Blake Lively, one of the most beautiful women to ever exist. Now, the guy's got it all, right? Well, we might think that. But this is where the story gets interesting, because despite having so much success, fame, and love, Ryan spent almost all his life trying to fight something that's far bigger than any fame: anxiety. Now, the guy's been really open about his struggles with anxiety, something that he's lived with since childhood. Now, growing up in Vancouver, Canada, he was the youngest of 4 kids and was a child constantly on edge. His father was a former cop and was a tough, intense man, making the atmosphere at Ryan's house really strict. According to Ryan, the environment was like walking through a skin-covered forest where any wrong step could trigger an explosion. Now, this tense atmosphere was what led Ryan to develop a keen sense of awareness and a survival instinct. Now, these qualities helped him in his acting career, but also affected his mental peace a lot, too. Now, even as a kid, Ryan soon found out how powerful humor is as a defense mechanism. Making people laugh became his way of getting out of the physical and emotional heaviness of his household. He used humor to diffuse the tension, protect himself, and survive. While humor was his way to cope with a challenge at home, he also used it as a mask to hide the fear and anxiety that he felt underneath. That dual side of Ryan Reynolds is the heart of his story. It's something that a lot of people won't expect from somebody who seems to have it all. But Ryan's journey tells us just how complex human emotions can be. And the fact that somebody's successful doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy or they're getting through life without a scratch. Acting wasn't Ryan's passion. It was more of an escape for him. Now, his first acting role in Hollywood was at a young age. With these acting roles, he could channel his energy into something productive. But even with all the success he started to achieve, the anxiety never left him alone. The pressures that came with being a part of the industry only intensified his inner demons.
It was tough. I was a kid I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of different kind of phobias and issues that I had to sort of work through, and it took me a long time to kind of recognize those things.
In several interviews, he's talked about how his anxiety would manifest before public appearances. As he was standing backstage waiting for the curtains to rise, he was always adamant that he was about to die. And yet, as soon as he would step under the spotlight, something inside him would shift. The fear would be replaced by a calm and confident persona that could easily make the audience laugh. This was Ryan's ability to compartmentalize, and it really helped him push down his anxiety, contributing to his professional successes a lot. One of the most evident examples of Ryan's relationship with his public image can be seen in his role as Deadpool. Now, when the guy got first introduced to the character during the filming of Blade Trinity in 2004, he had absolutely no idea who Deadpool was. However, the character's humor, his ability to break the fourth wall, and his morally loose nature deeply resonated with Ryan. Now, he felt like Deadpool was written for him specifically, and it became even more uncanny when he discovered a comic panel where Deadpool described himself as looking like a cross between Ryan Reynolds and Sharpay. Now, pretty soon, Deadpool became an outlet of anxiety for Ryan. The character's courage to say and do things nobody else would, being aware of how absurd his existence was. Everything mirrored what Ryan himself felt deep inside. Deadpool was Ryan's way of taking his darkest parts and turning them into humor. In many ways, Deadpool was kind of like therapy for Ryan. But the journey of bringing Deadpool to the silver screen was not an easy one. Regardless of how passionate Ryan was for the project, the studios were reluctant to give an R-rated movie a green light, especially after the failure of Green Lantern. Now, that was an experience where Ryan was miscast as a superhero, Hal Jordan, and it left a sour taste in his mouth, further worsening his anxiety. The movie was, easy to say, a disaster for Ryan and was the target of a lot of criticism. But yet, from this failure emerged one of the most important relationships of his life, his marriage to Blake Lively, whom he met on the set of the movie. Now, on the surface, the two look like the perfect Hollywood couple, beautiful, successful, and deeply in love. Ryan has often joked about how his relationship with Blake and their 3 daughters is what keeps him grounded. Now, he's also mentioned that if they were ever under attack, he would use Blake as a human shield. A typical Ryan response, showing him just how much love and respect the dude's got for his family. Balancing his career and family is something Ryan takes very seriously. Now, even though he's got a very busy schedule, he and Blake have a rule that they won't work at the same time, as one of them is always with the kids. Their commitment to family is something that Ryan holds very dear and never compromises on, even when dealing with the challenges of Hollywood, because of what his own upbringing was like. Now, despite having the support of family and a successful career, Ryan's anxiety never really leaves him alone. Now, he's constantly spoken out about how despite the outer success, the inner struggle never goes away. It's something that he's learned to manage, but not overcome. By sharing his own experiences, he hopes that he can reduce the stigma around anxiety and show the world that this affects everybody, even people who seem like they got it all. The journey to bring Deadpool to the silver screen was eventually successful, with the film becoming a huge success and earning over $783 million worldwide. The character who helped Ryan fight his anxiety was also the role that defined his career.
I used to say to her, I would take a bullet for you. I could never love anything as much as I love you. I would say that to my wife.
However, that success didn't come without any of its own challenges. The response to the film brought with it a lot of scrutiny and pressure, something that triggered Ryan's anxiety a lot. And still, through it all, he's one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. His ability to make people laugh, even while fighting his own battles, is proof of his strength and resilience. The guy's living proof that you can achieve an immense amount of success while living with anxiety, but also a reminder that the pressure of fame can take its toll on a person too. Now, this brings us to the most interesting aspect of Ryan's life, the contrast between his public image and all of his personal private battles. On social media, Ryan shared hilarious jokes and banters with his wife, making it seem like everything was perfect. But of course, this view doesn't capture the whole picture. The reality, as we've learned, is way more complex and complicated. His ability to juggle these two different sides of his life is what makes his story so interesting. Now, he doesn't run away from his struggles, but he embraces them as part of who he is. This openness is what fans love about him. They don't see him as a movie star, but rather as a relatable human being who faces challenges like everybody else. Now, in the end, Ryan Reynolds' story is one with different sides. He's a man with an incredible amount of success who still struggles with anxiety. He's the life of the party, but that doesn't mean that he sometimes just doesn't want to disappear for a minute. The guy's a superhero on screen and a great father and husband behind it. He's also an honest and vulnerable man, and that's why everybody adores him. So the next time you watch a Ryan Reynolds movie, don't forget that behind the laughter and the charm is a man who's had to fight a lot of battles like everybody else. And that's what makes him a true hero. The life he lives, not the roles that he plays. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.